Get your pen ready. It's time to let your creative juices flow and learn how to become an author. And Tara Richter can tell you it's a lot easier than you may think. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is such an interesting topic because I think a lot of us have dreams of becoming an author. I want to write a book. But it's a little overwhelming to even start the process. But I want to hear first from you, your background and what makes you passionate about this.
Well, I've always wanted to be an author. Ever since I was about 4 or 5 years old, I told my parents I wanted to be an author. And they're like, oh, okay, that's a nice pipe dream, you know? But I used to actually draw and make my own little books with glue and crayons and all that kind of stuff. So it was always, you know, my destiny and something that I loved to do.
And then you got into graphic design.
I did. So I actually have a degree in graphic design, and I worked in the copy and print industry in the Silicon Valley. So I was actually in the presses, you know, learning how to do the designs, how they print, you know, how the books look, the layout, and all of that.
And what's so interesting is publishing companies have changed the way we publish books, the way they are approved and denied and put out on the shelves and put out online. It's changed so much over the years.
It has. The traditional publishing model has kind of gone to the way of the indie publishing and also the self-publishing. So the great thing is with new technologies, most authors can get their books edited and published and on distribution channels all over the world within a couple months.
Wow. Now, I told you I was going to ask you this because my biggest thing, you don't want just anybody writing anything for the sake of writing. And I mean, you still want good quality.
Absolutely.
That's what people are going to read.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is that's why the traditional, or I mean, the self-publishing has a bad rap that anyone can just go out there and publish a book. So the whole thing is that, like my book on how to write a book in 4 weeks, is just to get the information out of your head and onto paper.
Which is step one and most important.
Exactly. But once you have it on paper, that's when you have to find an editor, and you need to go through the editing process. So I do have an algorithm of how to get it done and out of your head really quickly. But after that, you have to find an editor. You have to go through, clean it up, you know, make it sound good.
You still have to have good content. But for those of you who have the good content, what is your advice for getting it out of your head? Because, I mean, some people could write, I mean, stacks this high.
Yes. There's been so many people that I meet, they're like, I've been writing this book for 20 years. And I'm like, okay, well, let's get it published, you know? So the whole thing is that when you want to write a book, you need to have, like, you know, a plan. Okay. So I have, like, outlines and, you know, writing calendars. So basically, an industry standard 5x8 100-page book is 20,000 words. So if you write 715 words a day for 28 days, you have 20,000 words, and that's your rough draft.
Okay.
All right, so like this size book is actually 6x9, 100 pages. So, I mean, it's just a cute little manual, but you don't need to write 100,000 words in order to have a book that you can publish.
And talk about content that you're talking about specifically, because you're not talking fiction necessarily with characters and plots and...
Yeah, that's going to take a little bit longer if you're, you know, trying to do like a Lord of the Rings, you know, type of book, because you do have all that story development. What we specialize in is actually nonfiction business books. So with that, you just have all the information in your head, you know, if you have a business or whatever, and you're just trying to get that information out of your head and onto paper. So you already have it, you already know it, and then it's just getting it out there. So we also do like ghostwriting services where I can sit down and interview you. And the thing is, from a 3 to 4 hour interview, we can speak out a 200-page book.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really fast.
Well, what's your biggest take home as we get ready to close here? Because I do think this is a passion for a lot of people. A lot of people have this dream just as you did.
Absolutely. Well, the thing is, like I said, you want to get organized. You know, first figure out what kind of book are you going to write. You know, for nonfiction books, it's usually to make you an expert in your industry, to get on TV and radio, to raise your profile. Or do you want to do a fiction book? Is it just, you know, kind of like a fantasy type thing that you want to do? So you want to focus on, you know, what is the book topic and really what your goals are. And then start, you know, get the outlines. We have free resources on my website where people can download all kinds of free information to get them started. They can get this book, which will give them all the tools. You know, writing workshops, going to meetups. It's really good to kind of be in a community so you can ask people questions.
And ask away.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it. We'll make sure and put the info on our website as well.
Thank you.